Welcome to One or Boat.
Welcome back to One or Boat and our new series, Super Shorts. Live from San Diego, my good friend Rob. Today we're going to discuss flagship songs of Bob Dylan. Rob, what does that even mean?
Okay, yeah. So my family and I have been going back and forth with flagship songs for a couple of months now, and it's kind of a surround on all around idea of what one single song might best represent this artist and or this artist's catalog as a complete representation through just one single song. And so the conversations get really tricky, right? Because we're not talking about what's their biggest hit. And we're not talking about like what song have they had the most sales on.
So that would be
or anything like that.
Bob Dylan would be the most sales, would probably be Knocking on Heaven's Door.
I honestly don't know what the biggest selling song of Bob Dylan is. And honestly, I think for this conversation, that's a good thing, right? Because I don't want to influence my own judgment on what I would put his flagship on because of something like, oh, well, what about sales and blah, blah, blah. So let's use, for example, kind of get out of Bob Dylan and say, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing from Aerosmith, right?
Classic song by them.
Huge, very successful, classic song. It sold a lot of copies and had a good movie to back it up. And man,
but that's kind of like a ballad.
albums.
And they also do Janie's Got a Gun, or Whoever the Girl Is Got a Gun, which is a rocker.
The Girl Does Have a Gun.
Completely different
Absolutely.
sound.
And so that's why completely different sound. And so that's why I use that as kind of an example of, hey, just because it has a lot of sales doesn't mean that it's necessarily flagship.
Dude, I'm looking at a list
right?
of songs by Bob Dylan, and literally hundreds of songs.
Hundreds.
His catalog is deep,
that
man.
Span. It's a really deep catalog, and it spans a lot of years.
The times they are changing. Completely different song sound than Rainy Day Women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
Tambourine Man. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man. Completely different sound than Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Completely different sound. Knocking on Heaven's Door, completely different than Blowing in the Wind.
Like a Rolling Stone.
So Like a Rolling Stone, which is a great song.
Dude.
Great song. And all of these songs they're really good. They're really good songs. And a few of them, you brought up Knocking on Heaven's Door. And again, it's not something that I would be able to quote a stat, but it feels like Knocking on Heaven's Door is probably amongst one of the most covered songs just like ever of anyone's catalog. Like there's a lot Freebird, right? There's a lot of people that and a lot of really influential musicians who were also influenced by Knocking on Heaven's Door. And so, I guess the question is, does that make it his flagship, or does that mean that just, it happened to hit that timing where a lot of musicians that you or I might listen to were also listening to Bob Dylan?
I don't know. If I was going to say Bob Dylan, I don't know if I could pick a flagship song, but I might pick something like a flagship sound, and then that would have to be something like Lay Lady Lay. And that gives him that melancholy singer-songwriter. He could do it with a guitar, he could do it with a whole band, and every time he does it, it's him.
Yeah. As soon as you said sad melancholy, I automatically went to Make You Feel My Love,
Yeah.
Which it's like I envision him when Bob Dylan writes a song, and I have no idea what it was actually like, but I just envision this dude just kind of slunched over at a desk and just like, well, everything is effed right now, so let me write about that.
I think
real
that's what
quick.
He did all the time. I think he drove around and sat on the stoop and smoked cigarettes and was like, what's going on in my life right now? I can write 3 verses about that.
Right.
I think he just wrote about
Right.
things. When I said sad and melancholy, and then you said, "You know what I was thinking about?" I immediately thought of Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah.
So, because of the infinite sadness, you
I
know?
don't know why. Melancholy,
So,
infinite
okay,
sadness.
what is your flagship?
So let me finish this real quick statement about another categorical measurement of what somebody might be able to use to judge, is this flagship or could it be flagship contender, in this discussion or debate, right? And so something that we've kind of evolved around here using as a marker is, could this band or musician close a concert with
Not
that
with
song?
Lady Lay. No.
He's not going to close with Lay Lady Lay.
Ah,
Nope. He's not going to close with Lay Lady Lay. He's not going to close with Make You Feel My Love. He's probably
with
not going to
Tangled Up in Blue,
close
no.
with he's not going to close with Blowing in the Wind. Blowing in the Wind, that's a good, like, in the middle of the
Yeah.
concert song. And now mind you, this is not this stamp like, nope, he closed, so that's it. No, that's just another category to help us measure, right?
I've never
Would this
seen
be
Bob
it?
Dylan play live. I've only seen him with the Berries, Traveling Wilburys, and, and then seen him on TV playing a single.
A single. Right.
I find it interesting to conceptualize what would be his opener and what he would close with. I mean,
Ooh.
you take someone, same thing, singer-songwriter could play with an acoustic guitar, and you're talking like Neil Young. Neil Young
Mm-hmm.
could, depending on the politics of the day, open with 100 songs,
Yeah.
obviously close with 100 songs. I mean, it's so much more accessible to me because it's what I consider like rock and roll. And I'm not saying Bob Dylan's
Yeah.
not rock and roll. It's not in your face, we play the drums on a trash can type of rock and roll. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not in your face rock and roll, but to I mean, I don't know if it would fit in any other category, maybe except for like folk rock.
I think you
But
would not have Mumford and Sons and Modest Mouse and other bands like that without Bob Dylan. Yeah. And
no,
I know there's the stretch
I
between
mean,
them is real far and wide, but you had to get from point A to point B somewhere. Yeah.
right. Or somebody had to figure out where point A was, and I think Bob
Dude.
Dylan did a
Yeah.
lot of that.
So I want
Yeah.
to close by
So
saying I think I have no idea what he would close with, but I would probably be by inviting someone out on stage to play lead guitar on Knocking on Heaven's Door.
I was gonna say either Knocking on Heaven's Door, right, or Like a Rolling Stone. I think Like a Rolling Stone just has that raw, that raw emotion, whatever. That's the one where if you happen to, I don't know, drop the guitar on the stage and then
Yeah,
kick
it
it,
would work.
in the middle of the song, it'd be like, F it, it's Like a Rolling Stone anyways. That's
It's
the
a complete
concert. I'm
unknown.
out.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I get it.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy that?
That was a lot of fun.
Dude, I hope you come back for another one.
Absolutely.
All right, my man. Thank you so much. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast if you haven't already, so you won't miss any future adventures. And if you found some value in what we shared today, please consider leaving us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps others discover the show too. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach out to us on social media or through our website. Thank you.